Have you ever noticed a guy acting a bit strange around you? Maybe he seems nervous or goes out of his way to talk to you, but then plays it cool like it's no big deal. Chances are he probably likes you, but is trying his best not to show it. Guys can be pretty good at hiding their true feelings, especially when they don't want to get rejected. However, there are some subtle signs that can give away his secret crush. This video is about those 10 real signs a guy likes, but they are trying to hide it. 1. He finds constant excuses to be around you. First up is the classic sign. He's always coincidentally popping up wherever you happen to be, even in unexpected places. Sure, he'll claim running into you is a crazy random chance, but come on, that's just flimsy excuse after flimsy excuse to get close to you. He might coincidentally start showing up to the same parties, gatherings, hangouts, and other events you regularly attend. Or he might start hitting up the same spots and hangouts, like your favorite cafe, bookstore, or park. At first, it could seem plausible, but if it's a constant pattern and he always seems to be in your orbit no matter where you are, he's definitely hunting for FaceTime, even if he doesn't admit why. 2. His usual confidence falters around you. Another telling sign is if this normally self-assured, well-spoken person suddenly becomes flustered and loses their cool composure whenever you're around. If his typical charismatic demeanor does a complete 180 into anxious stumbling with every interaction, there's likely a reason behind that transformation. For example, does he become visibly restless and struggle to maintain eye contact when talking to you, like fidgeting, rubbing his face, or exhibiting other new nervous tics? That nervous energy contrasts with how relaxed and unfazed he appears in other social settings with friends. Similarly, does his voice waver and crack? Or does he cut off into rambling tangents when conversations once flowed smoothly before? Perhaps he even seems distracted or disconnected at times. That flustered state could be nerves prompted by your vicinity scrambling his thoughts. 3. He purposefully puffs out his metaphorical chest around you. Quite often when guys are into someone but too shy to admit it, they try, perhaps subconsciously, overcompensating by making extra efforts to display stereotypical macho behaviors or assets when you're watching. It's like a male courtship ritual, bigging themselves up to try capturing your interest. For example, does it seem like he spends more time regaling you with long-winded stories highlighting his accomplishments, travels, and talents? Major showboating, right? Or does he try to act more cocky or arrogant, talking himself up repeatedly? There's desperation in that swaggering. While women tend to go for subtle flirting, some guys overdo these theatrical performances when they like someone but are too cowardly to make a real move. All that overcompensating bravado is a glaring giveaway he's trying to catch your eye, even if outright flirting makes him too nervous. 4. He teases and playfully picks fights with you. This one is definitely a juvenile maneuver, but some guys revert to a weird kindergarten mindset around their crushes where they think the best way to mask interest is by being a jokingly antagonistic little brat. Essentially, he teases, picks playful fights, or tries gently getting a rise out of you on the regs, because that's his twisted way of flirting. Does he regularly make random teasing comments clearly intended to push your buttons and spark an eye-rolling reaction? Like mocking your quirks, giving you a silly nickname, or negging you about other guys you may know? Seems out of nowhere, right? Well, to him that's his cowardly version of trying to be flirtatious in an immature, no, she's icky kind of way. And if you react and engage, does he keep doubling down on provoking you and stirring the pot further? Start noticing if these squabbles often have strange sexual tension, or end with him flashing you a proud little smirk. Making you notice and engage with him was the entire and only point. Major pulling your pigtails syndrome. 5. He's always trying to make you laugh. Another huge giveaway that a guy is crushing but too bashful to be direct. He's constantly leaning into purposefully trying to make you laugh, or be the one to crack you up. It's basic human courtship, wanting to be seen as fun, charismatic, and charming by the person you're interested in. Does he always try acting like a clown, telling silly jokes or stories, or just hamming it up to get a laugh whenever he's around you? Like he'll say absurdly random stuff just for the chance you'll break into a grin or crack up. The silliness definitely seems exaggerated for your benefit. And when you do laugh, does he get this oddly proud look of satisfaction? Like that's his goal fully accomplished? There's a reason guys work overtime to make you giggle. They view it as a mini win toward capturing your positive attention and affection. Even if the jokes fall flat or his antics are cringeworthy, you have to respect his deluded determination to just constantly be on whenever you're around. He thinks being the life of the party and focus of your laughter is how he'll luck into melting your heart. It's a valiant if tone-deaf effort, and yet another blatant sign of hidden romantic interest. 6. He tries finding reasons or excuses to touch you. While most guys are terrified of being too forward and crossing lines without consent, and classic way a lot of them still try pushing boundaries subtly is by manufacturing innocent-seeming reasons and excuses to have excuses for light, casual physical contact. It's a foot in the door, if you will. For example, does he randomly go in for awkward side hugs that linger perhaps a tad too long whenever greeting you? Most people don't crave that much unnecessary physical touch from just friends. Or does he always try playfully punching your arm or putting his hand on your shoulder/back for no conspicuous reason? Similarly, notice if he tries making comments about a strand of hair being out of place as an excuse to tuck it behind your ear. Or maybe there's a fake stumble where he needs to brace against your arm or torso for balance. Yeah, sure, likely not an accident at all. 7. He acts very differently around you versus others. When a guy has a crush he hasn't admitted to, his behaviors and mannerisms will often shift noticeably when he's around the person he's into, versus how he acts normally around others. The awkwardness and overcompensating only applies to interactions with you specifically. For example, is he perfectly relaxed, confident, and chill when hanging with his friend group? But then the second you arrive, he immediately gets all fidgety, stutters his words, and seems like a different nervous person entirely. That's a clear giveaway his feelings for you are the variable prompting such a stark persona switch. When a guy genuinely only views you as a friend on an equal platonic level, there's no reason for such a Jekyll and Hyde personality split. However, when he acts markedly different around you specifically, it's a bright green flag he's crushed out but too anxious to communicate it directly. The distinct contrast gives away his deeper feelings. 8. He pushes himself into your one-on-one orbit. Speaking of valuing your individualized attention, another big sign of a guy's hidden crush status is if he seems to constantly manufacture circumstances to catch you one-on-one, rather than just politely making conversation amid broader group settings. To him, those private moments are tiny windows to steal your personal focus. Does this guy buddies up to you anytime you're left alone, even ditching his crew if it means those few minutes of just you two? Like at a party when you step away for a breather, does he soon conveniently appear at your side striking up seemingly mundane chit-chat? Those situations are prime opportunities for a smitten guy to bask in your individual attention without any buffers. Along those lines, pay attention if he tries tagging along to help you run any solo errands or tasks he'd otherwise have no organic reason to be involved in, like going grocery shopping or picking something up. To him, having you all to himself for any stretch, no matter how brief or mundane the context, is a chance to be hyper-focused on by his crush. It's flattering affirmation of importance. 9. He gives you special attention through sweet gestures. Even if a guy's words or direct actions don't overtly proclaim his romantic interest out of sheepishness, another subtle giveaway can often be found in the little, sweet gestures and considerations he only seems to extend to you specifically, not others in his general orbit. For example, does he insist upon helping carry your heavy bags or boxes when running errands, despite not jumping up for such tasks with other people? Or does he make little efforts to save you a prime seat, bring you a beverage, or grab something you need without prompting? Those may seem like basic friend-zone courtesies, but they can read as elevated prioritization to a guy crushing hard. These sweet little gestures aren't necessarily grand romantic overtures. However, they illustrate how he's allocating his emotional energy, attention, and efforts in ways he reserves exclusively for you, compared to how he interacts normally with other people, where the incentive doesn't exist to impress or endear in those modest yet meaningful ways. Reading into the differential treatment can unveil his true underlying intentions. 10. He gets flustered when you turn conversations toward dating. Probably the biggest undeniable giveaway that a guy is crushing hard but trying not to admit it. The intense sheepishness and clear panic that washes over him anytime you try steering conversations toward direct discussions of dating lives, romance, or anything vaguely related to putting his own feelings on the spot. Does he try deflecting or killing momentum by returning any romantic discussions back on you with lightning speed? Like, if you try playfully asking if he's seeing anyone, you'll notice he rigorously avoids answering directly in favor of abruptly spinning it around to interrogate you on your dating life instead. Classic tactical evade and redirect maneuver to avoid having to confront or reveal his own buried feelings. Those visceral reactions of panic, shutdown, and unyielding diversion anytime romantic topicality gets even slightly too central for his comfort essentially confirms exactly what you already suspected all along. This guy is harboring powerful, deeper feelings for you, but is so intimidated by them or uncertain of your mutual receptiveness that he deploys emergency lockdown protocols to keep it all under wraps, mixed signals in their purest form. If you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comment section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.